What is going on, everybody? Bobby Fi here. Sheets is going to be on his way to the NBA Live Final in Scottsdale. So, first of all, good luck to Sheets. Hope he takes it home. It's been a great start for the TrueDFS team to the year. So, hopefully, this will continue and Sheets can win the Live Final and keep it going. All right, this slate got turned on its head as we sort of expected it to. Dallas, as far as I can tell, only has 8 players available, so we're not going to be able to ignore the first games as we were talking about earlier. And by the way, I'm going to probably bump everyone on Dallas up a little more than this. I'm not buying with 8 players that I think Kai Jones should be sort of mid 20s ish. I think that Kessler Edwards should probably be like just low 20s. Najee Marshall, maybe you could argue that he's okay where he is, but I certainly could see bumping him up a little bit as well. And this is sort of the one you want to get right. We know Hardy is a volatile player. It is going to be tricky to avoid this chalk. And I think it's easy, even harder on FanDuel, I would say, because he stands out as being by far the best value on the slate. So just getting into this slate, I'll talk about, just what I'm thinking. I think you're going to want at least one from Dallas in pretty much every lineup. Indiana plays fast. In order for them to even if they don't put up a game, the only guy I'm not really interested in is Dwight Powell. I'm definitely going to be over the field on everyone else. I'm not buying these projections for what it's worth. I'm just not. You can't take away that much and not have more than, what we got one guy or two guys projected over 30. I guess we got 3 in Najee, but I just feel like there's more room for Dallas. So I'm probably going to end up increasing my projection on all of Dallas. It's always tricky with teams that aren't trying to win, but they have 8 players. I don't know what we're really supposed to do. So we have no Halliburton again. McConnell's more expensive. I don't mind it, by the way. I'll go back to the well. I will also say that Siakam is lower owned than I think he should be. We're going to bump this up a few points as well. Again, there is some blowout risk here, so it's a little nerve-wracking, but I just feel like I kind of want some exposure on the other side because I'm going to end up with a lot of Dallas. And let me just, for now, just to humor myself, I'd like to get a starting lineup in from Dallas before I do anything. But I do think that these numbers should be a little bit higher in most cases. I'm going to go talk about, I'll probably be here for 20 minutes and then we'll get in. I'll get into the Discord premium and then I'm going to have to get out of there about 6:45 Eastern just so I can get my lineups in. But as far as what else I did, I just wanted to get a little bit, buy myself time in a lot of cases because we've got a lot of Q tags. So I did bump up like most of the later game stuff. In fact, I actually was going to bump this one up a little bit just because I want to have exposure here where people aren't really getting. I'm still not necessarily sure I buy this projection on Gillespie, but I certainly don't mind. Like, again, I can always make my decisions later. I do really like the Durant and Booker having at least one of those guys, and obviously a great matchup. And they're, look, as long as we don't have Bradley Beal, especially, no Plumlee, no Grayson Allen. Also, I'm going to keep having interest in those guys. So this is sort of like what I did, and I'll just sort of run through it. I did feel like the projections were a little bit high on some of these guys, so I bumped down a little bit in this game, but I bumped up. I guess Giddey will go back to the original projection. Herder even at 27, it's fine. It's just not like excited about it. Maybe I'll go to 27. That's fine. Keep it just right around where SaberSim has him. But in general, I do want to be late. Propping up the late players. You can see I propped up the Lakers quite a bit. I actually think I could go higher on Jackson Hayes. I think this is like a better situation than maybe is being acknowledged. And maybe I will again, it just buys me time if nothing else. And I'm just sure there's going to be news that comes out after lock. And one of the biggest teams we have that with is the Denver side of things. Again, I'm going to leave this back at the original now because we don't know who's playing for sure. And Aaron Gordon actually bumped up, but they bumped him back down. They bumped him up as well, so he ended up looking like he got bumped down. Just bumping up slightly on the other guys. Just again, I'm okay to just buy some time, and you can see that mostly I bumped people. Oh my god, I bumped Abdi up, and now they bumped him up. So we're gonna probably go even a little higher on Abdi a little later, and we're gonna go higher on Shaden Sharp a little later probably. Again, I just think it makes sense to buy time on slates like this when you can. We still don't know about Scottie Pippen Jr., obviously a big piece of news. We're going to go to I bumped Jalen Wells up, but then they bumped him up as well. I bumped up these guys and they bumped him up as well. I think Bain I'm actually going to go a little bit higher on. I just feel like there's a good chance for a big outing from him tonight. We're still waiting for starting lineups for the first game, so I'll get into that stuff in a little bit. But I just sort of wanted to talk through like some of the things that I was doing. I don't think we need to play Trey Lyles, but you can see I bumped up everybody else in Sacramento in this game. I bumped up everybody on Cleveland. I think they, maybe not accounting for Garland being out quite as much as I would. Cleveland has lost 2 in a row, which they don't lose games. So I have a feeling they're going to come out and put their best foot forward here. We'll see how it goes. It is a back-to-back. All right, let's just keep going through it. And that's sort of what I again, a lot of what I'm doing tonight is trying to buy that time. I do think these Dallas guys are impossible to avoid. I think the ownership is kind of freaking me out, and I don't agree that just one of Hardy or Dinwiddie. I mean, look, they have 8 players and they're playing in Indiana. There's a lot of other stuff on the slate. I'm going to probably bump this Kenrich projection down. I like Kenrich Williams as a real life player. I don't think his projection as on a 10-game slate should ever be that. Well, I don't think his projection should be that high. I also don't think he's as good a play as he looks like right here. No problem, Mighty saying thanks so much, guys. Please click the like button and all that. Also, we got incredible new tools. We're still trying to organize the site. It looks kind of messy right now, but if there's ever any questions about it, if you're a site member, please just hit me up. But we've got some. I mean, with the PayDirt partnership, we added Astucas's new tools. All of Sheets' projections, Goldie's projections, all of my content, Brandon Cruz, Rhodey. It's just our team is much more solid, and I think that we're charging just a little bit more than SaberSim, and I think you're getting a whole lot for your bang for your buck. So I hope you guys do take a look at the site. I'm going to rerun things in a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to do that here. I think I'm going to do that in the premium channel just because I don't want to just give everything that I'm doing away entirely. I sort of giving away overall strategies on this slate. And the weird part is we don't have a guy who's looking to be 70% on. I think this projection might be a little bit high on Jaquez. I'm okay with it, but it's not one of the first games anyway. So just talking about the first games, I do think Dallas is going to be hard to avoid, especially for me. I like some of these pieces without Halliburton a little bit better than the field does. 29 might be a little bit aggressive on McConnell, but I do like him, and I do like I like the Matherin idea as well. Those are sort of the main plays from the first game. But Houston, I'm not getting to much, and I wouldn't mind if I did. I just am having a hard time figuring out what to get to. It's a bad matchup, but with no Amen Thompson, I do think you could maybe make a case for Van Vliet. I just don't think that I'm going to end up there realistically. And then you've got Corey Joseph in this situation again. Never a fun click, especially as the first game of the day, but certainly is the right price and is a value piece. I think this projection might be a little bit high on Wendell Carter. I don't know. It's reasonable enough. Let's see. Sheets got him a little higher, actually. Goldie's got him a little higher as well. So I'm going to leave that projection, and I'll probably get to a little bit of him, but I don't know how much I'm going to end up with there. Don't mind Franz or Paolo, but I just don't think you need to do it. And there's a lot of later stuff. It's again, bad matchup for both teams. That's a low scoring game. Always like Durant a little bit, but not getting going out of my way to get there. I think this is one I could talk myself into is the Asar play. I just think that there's upside, and I know the minutes it's been ugly lately. I still think there's upside for him. And we've got. I'm ignoring the Highsmith thing for the most part. If I get to any Davion Mitchell, it's not going to be much. And I think that both Bam and Hero are in play, as well as Jaquez with no Andrew Wiggins. So those are sort of the first games, and then mainly I want to start at these later games. I'm still confused about what's happening with Quentin Grimes here. They dropped his projection again. Okay, so he was up to 41 projection and down to 8, and I was getting all of them. I do think his projection is low. I mean, I just want to point out what Quentin Grimes has been doing in this role. At some point, are they just going to shut him down? Because I mean, they've only got 10 guys, and he's playing tons of minutes. And I mean, he put up 76 in the last game, 43, 46. Why is his projection below 40? Someone's going to have to explain this to me. I know it's not a great matchup, but all he's done in this spot are 41, 59, 46, 43, 76. And then he had the one bad game against Boston. Before that, 43, 33, 63. Look, we're going to have to bump this up, okay? We're going to have to get to a little bit of Grimes at least. I just think that I'm tired of saying the same thing every day and not, Sheets and I talked about it yesterday. The role of a player is really important, and we've got to really do our best to distance ourselves from the perception we've had about them in the past because of the role that they're in now. If either Hartenstein or Wallace are out tonight, we could get a little game stack action going here. I wouldn't mind that a little bit. But it's kind of a tricky slate. And again, still feel like we're waiting on a lot. I mean, those three pieces from Denver, that's not game slot till 10 Eastern. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to try and figure that one out. So I think the best use of this time is probably open up for questions. And I'm happy to go through anything with you guys, but I don't really have like, my slate feels like it's going to be a feel slate. Like it's going to be, as we go, trying to keep ahead of the projections, making sure I have spots available for those late night games while also getting more exposure to Dallas than the field is. And I still feel like there should be okay, look, what did I just say? Kessler Edwards should be low 20s. There he is. They bumped him up. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. Like I'm not crazy. They even bumped PJ Washington up. Okay, that's good too. They bumped up Christie a little bit. Okay, this is making a lot more sense to me. I'm just going to wait for the ownership to update, because one thing you'll find is if you have a guy who's like projected at like 7x and you've got like him owned at 0.5%, you're going to end up with 100% of them, because that's the way that they're going to try and be contrarian based on ownership. So sometimes even when the projections update, make sure the ownership's updated, or at least put in your best guess. That's what I do. If it's like last minute, because it's really tricky otherwise. I will share a build on FanDuel because I haven't touched anything yet. I'm going to, but I haven't gotten around to it yet, just because, again, it's hard. It was hard for me to even get my content out today because there's so much that we're just waiting on. And some of it we got answers to about, the Dallas guys. That's good. Some of it we did not get answers to, like the Denver, and we probably won't till later on today. And the Denver and OKC those are huge spots where if anybody else is missing in those with those Q tags, Hartenstein, Wallace over there, and then obviously the big ones for Denver, I think we have to be a little bit concerned that we may not have enough spots open late. So another good reason why you bump up the other pieces. Again, I didn't need to bump up as much as I thought I was on Portland, but I think on DraftKings, but I do think getting to some Portland on DraftKings especially makes a lot of sense. So this is just sort of running the basic Saber Sim where they're at right now build. Come on. Okay. And we're going to run the sim. We're going to use 3-min uniques just for the heck of it, and see what it gives us. Just running it basically without touching anything. But if there are any questions or thoughts on the slate, please drop in your thoughts or feedback or questions or whatever. I've got another 8 minutes or so that I'll be in here, so I'd love to be able to help out any way I could. Let's see. Okay, so this is without running much of anything, and we're gonna guess Jared Butler is the highest owned player, maybe because of his price. Yeah, it is Jared. Oh wait, where did my exposures go? They went over there. This is probably a little aggressive. Let's see. SaberSim's got him a lot higher than I believe Sheets. Let me just double check Sheets and Goldie's projections as well, just to balance this one out. We did think. Where did this? Oh, we don't have him over here. Vukcevic. Vukcevic is not even on the radar for me. So I like, you can play him. It's a later game. Maybe he ends up popping in for me later, but I don't think that I'm going to play Vukcevic. What does he project? I mean, like, what are we talking about here? Like, I know he's had a couple of games, but like I mean, it's a dart. I don't think it's like a logical play. He's gotten there in recent games because he's played really well, but I don't think that I'm going to end up with much of him. I'll end up with maybe a little. Again, things could change between now and 9 Eastern. So as of right now, I would not be getting to much Vukcevic. No. I actually think that I should probably, like, I thought Hardy would be a little bit higher over here. They really like the Ricky Council thing. It's okay. Again, you're getting that. It's looking like an OKC Philly game stack. Again, the game's at 8 Eastern. We'll see what happens between now and then. But I think we should be getting to more Dallas over here. So let me just make sure. I think Dinwiddie, again, we can go just bump up the projection a little bit. Bump up Hardy. Oh, not much. Bump up Najee. And then I think this is a very low projection on, if this game stays reasonably close, I want PJ Washington at least a couple points higher. Max Christie. We're just going to, I mean, look, they don't have enough bodies for us not to consider everybody. So I think we've got to, again, I'll bump up Kai Jones is 3,900 over here. That's actually like an interesting tournament play. I'm going to make him 19. I do think he should be higher than where he's at right now with how many limited bodies they have. He could easily play with other bigs. It just depends on how things go. So I'm going to bump up these guys and then rerun it and see what it says. I'm blowing up. This is the problem. I can't really run the site and do all my stuff here. Let me see. Sorry. So all right, so let's see what else. Any other questions or thoughts before we see this updated SaberSim build? And again, I still want to see starting lineups. I want to figure this out. I'm actually curious because in this situation, Dallas like never starts Hardy, but I would be shocked, I think, I'd be very surprised if he started. So I wonder if that's going to affect his projection a little bit because I almost feel like the projection's treating it like he's going to start. Either way, I like him as a play. I just throwing that out there. So I bumped up the Dallas. We're going to keep the min uniques down to 1 for right now and rerun this thing and see what kind of exposure we get. And then we'll play around. Sheets likes to play around with it, but again, I like to rerun the sims after I go to the min uniques. Okay, stop sending me messages, guys. I'm on air. Hate when that happens. All right, here we go. All right, yeah. So I'm lower on this Jared Butler idea than the field. What is going on with this Jared Butler? Like, let me just double check. I'm not against the Jared Butler. I just don't want to have like 1,000,000% of it at 5,700. It's probably fine. Is probably where I land on it. It's probably just fine. But if I don't know. It just feels like it should be a little bit lower to me. So I'm going to keep it down to 31 and see what I can rebuild and what that's going to give me. All right. A few more minutes, guys. So pop in any other thoughts or questions. Please hit the like button. We want to keep doing some of these videos for free at least. And yeah. All right. Let's see what we've got here. Oh my God. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, something tells me some of these are gonna. Yeah, we're gonna have some interesting stuff to decide later on tonight, and I'm gonna pop into the premium channel and talk a little bit about that as best I can between slates. So we're gonna run the contest sim with just 1 min unique at the moment, and see what kind of exposure we're getting. I feel that this Dallas thing should be higher owned. I did get a bet in on Dallas minus. Indiana minus 11 earlier. I wonder what the spread is at now, because that was when we had Clay and what's his name playing, and not 8 players. It's only 11 still. I mean, that seems crazy to me. I think Indiana's going to beat the hell out of them. All right, so this is where you end up ownership wise. I love Luka tonight. Love Jokic, assuming that he plays. And let's see where we ended up. I think we got ourselves a good see that now we've got the Dallas stuff cooking. Okay. Kessler Edwards, even I think we could find a way to even throw him into a build or so, but like no Kai Jones. So no matter what, I can't get to the, you know what, let's make it let's make him more than 5x. I think there's an argument for Kai Jones here, as like people are talking about, this Vukcevic, especially on FanDuel. Kai Jones just put up 32.5 like off the bench. Why? Oh, actually, that was the last time he played. But all right, he started that game, I guess. But still, I feel like there's upside for Kai Jones. Am I crazy? Maybe because he's just coming back. Maybe I shouldn't go too crazy with it. But 20 is not crazy. I do think there's upside for him here. But either way, you can see I'm now getting exposure to the one early thing that I really wanted to. The other part I mentioned before is that I think Siakam's being a little bit underprojected. This Nembhard thing, I like Nembhard, but this might be a little bit ambitious. I like the Mathurin play. I think Mathurin has more upside. I think that Nembhard gets there more often. That's the way I look at it. And let's see, McConnell. We're getting to some of it. Okay. I'd like to maybe get a little bit more. Not a crazy thing. And then Siakam, I think I feel comfortable bumping up a couple points. He should have his way inside there. Even with PJ Washington out there, it's just that Dallas team is just decimated. All right, guys. Well, I'm probably going to get out of here, and I'm going to jump into the premium channel for all site members and finish up my builds and say good luck to you all. I hope you guys have a great night.